Hi guys, it's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. Oh no, I just can't believe that we have to go through this again. So the good news is that Goldberg is recrossing Fung, which you would think would mean Shek is, almost done. He might recross a little bit here, but he's almost done. Nope. No, I don't think so. Look, remember, Remember, Fung is on the stand until the 18th. We are still on the 14th. So I can't tell who is questioning him here and who is questioning him here. I don't know if it's Goldberg. I don't know if it's Shaq. But there, boom, 1, 2, 3. Now, it's possible on the 18th, he's only there for 5 minutes and the rest is someone else. Or this is all him. We don't know. But I'm at the very beginning of today's video, 00. Remember, this video starts as Goldberg is already talking. So we missed part of it. I don't know what he was saying, and it doesn't matter. We'll be fine. Whoa, 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 hold on. Oh, no, sir. No way.
Afterward. Question. And you just refreshed your recollection by looking at your notes. Answer. Yes, I did. Question. And the notes reflect that those items were picked up at 5 o'clock? Answer. Yes. Question. And since you are telling us that you received this blood vial at 5:20, you have concluded that this was after those two items were collected? Answer. Yes. Now, but do you have, as you sit here today, an independent recollection of the order in which you received the items other than looking at your notes? Answer. No. Do you recall that line of questioning?
Yes, I do.
And did you have an independent recollection of the time that you obtained that vial other than what was reflected in your notes?
No,
Or the order in which it was collected with respect to other items?
I didn't have an independent recollection. I still don't know.
And is that because, as far as you were concerned, it wasn't that significant?
Sustained.
Your Honor, I'd like to read another quote from page 22/444, and it starts on line 23. Do you recall giving the following answers to the following questions, sir? Question. And after you received the envelope from Detective Van Adder in the foyer, did you then walk out the door to the crime scene truck? Answer. I don't know if I did that immediately or if I had other things there I had to do prior to that. Question. Did you put this envelope in a brown paper bag? Answer. I don't recall if I did or not. Question. Did you put it inside your black kit? No, I don't think I did that. Question. Did you at some point walk out of the foyer to the crime scene truck holding the gray envelope? Answer. I don't believe so. Question. Well, what did you do with it? How did you get it to the crime scene truck? Answer. It may have been in a paper bag, but I don't recall if I actually did put it in there, or it may have been put in a posse box. Question. Is it possible that you just walked out the door with the envelope in your hand? Answer. It's possible, but I don't think that that's likely. Do you remember giving those questions to that answer, those answers to those questions?
Yes.
And at that point in time, did you have an independent recollection? Meaning from your own memory of what happened on the 13th as to exactly what receptacle, if any, you put the blood vial envelope in?
No, I did not.
So where did you come up with the various possibilities that you were speculating about?
Objection, speculations, there's
Sustain.
testimony
Raise-
after lunch,
sustain.
after these questions.
Raise the question.
Mr. Fung, where did you come up with those various different possibilities?
Those were packaging items that are in the crime scene, available in the crime scene kit, and I named those types of packaging or packages off.
But did you have any memory at that time of putting it in a brown paper bag as opposed to the posse box, as opposed to just handling it without putting it in anything?
No.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to mark as people's next in order 2 photographs of what appear to depict the packaging of item 17.
183 and 184.
Or does the court want me to mark them 183A and 183B?
About 183 and 184.
Okay. I just want to approach the witness first before I show it, put it on the Elmo if I may.
You may.
So showing you what's been marked as people's 183 and 184 for identification. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
What does that depict?
This depicts the front and back of the envelope containing item number 17.
I don't know whether the resolution is going to be good enough, Mr. Fun, but you said that you documented somewhere that you received this from Mr. Van Adder, the date and the time.
Yes.
Can you point that out for us?
On the photograph to the right, which is the picture of the rear or the back portion of the envelope, there is writing. Well, it's between the yellow seal and the red seal in the middle, and it says received from Detective Van Adder, his serial number 14877 on 6/13/94 at 17:20, and it has my signature there.
And when you wrote that on there, do you know where you got the time from?
I looked at my watch.
Your Honor, I have another item from People's 160. Your Honor, this time I have an item that's comes from People's 163, and it's 163I for identification.
All
If
right,
I may approach the
163I.
witness.
You want to show that to Mr. Scheck first?
So showing you People's 163I for identification. Can you tell us what that is?
This is a LAPD sealed evidence sticker.
Okay, so is that the type of sticker that you used when you eventually sealed this before it was placed into the evidence control unit?
Sustained. It
Did
also
you-
assumes facts not in evidence at this point.
Did you use this type of sticker on this item?
Sustained and assumes facts not in evidence. Overruled.
Yes.
And can you just point it out for us on the Elmo where that sticker would be? Which one, the yellow or?
The red sticker in the about 2/3 across the screen.
And was this item eventually brought into the evidence control unit?
Yes, it was.
On what date?
That was booked into ECU, which is the evidence control unit, on June 16th.
Okay. Could we circle using the telestrator, perhaps the time, the 722? 1722. And the date, Mr. Fairlow. And does that date go under the seals?
The seal appears to cover that writing, yes.
The item that you're referring to, the date and time.
Yes, he did.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to play another videotape that we have of the events on the 13th, Rockingham. I don't know whether we've discussed that.
I don't believe we had on the C council cycle. All right, thank you, counsel. Proceed.
Your Honor, I'd like to move on then to another video. It's Defense 1104. And first, there's a clip of Ms. Mazzola leaving the location.
All right, Mr. Fairlow, do you have that available?
I believe it's 1102.
Three, please.
Can we replay that portion for a second? Back it up just a little bit. Stop. Can you just back it up a couple frames? Okay, stop. No, you almost got it. There. Mr. Fung, looking at that bag, does it appear to you that there is some rectangular item
Objection,
in
the
it?
evidence speaks for itself.
Leading question, counsel.
Mr.
Also,
Fung,
objection, competency with respect to this speaks for itself.
Mr. Fung, directing your attention to the bottom part of the bag that Andrea Mazzola is handling. What does that appear to? Does that appear to be containing something?
An object does appear to be at the bottom of that bag, yes.
Can we have that item printed, Your Honor?
Yes, please. And before we move on from that frame, let's see what comes out. What's the print time on this, Mr. Fairlow?
From the original frame, our reference were I queued it up as 006, so I would need to rewind it from the beginning and play forward to set that frame.
No, but I mean, how long is it going to take you to print this copy?
It's set now, I can move on.
No, I just want to make sure that we have that. I want to see the quality of the print.
So it'll take about 2 minutes.
All right, you need to move this.
From this location? The court's saying that we'll have to delay if we do that.
No, I mean, because of the jumping nature of this particular still, I just want to make sure that the quality of our print is precise, that's all.
Okay.
Since there's a lot of noise at the top of the picture.
Maybe one more pass on the edge.
They're so crazy. It's been we've we've been following them for has to be over a year now. Hearing after hearing after hearing. I'm going to try to get them in a playlist.
Want to show that to Mr. Goldberg? Does that capture what you need?
Excuse me, Your Honor? Yes, that seems to be pretty good.
All right, proceed.
I'd like to mark this as people's next in order. It would be
185.
185.
Equals 185.
Sir, may I approach the witness again?
You may.
Sir, I'd like to show you what's previously been marked as 163H for identification. Can you tell us what that is?
163H is a series of 3 envelopes, which are analyze evidence envelopes.
And is one of those the same type of envelope as was used to contain the vial of blood that you received in the envelope from Detective Van Adder?
Yes,
Which one is that?
that would be the gray envelope, which is right here.
And is the item that appears to be in the bag in the photograph that we just saw consistent with that in size?
Sustain. Sustain.
Your Honor, perhaps we could ask that that be passed around just so the jury can get a sense of what it looks like a little better.
Also, you might want to measure it so there's a precise measurement on the record.
I have no objection doing whatever they want to do with this, but I would request that we bring the real thing in.
That what?
Yeah, for this purpose, for the jury to appreciate the size of the envelope, let's proceed, but we will bring the original in at some point. All right. Oh, yeah, Mr. Fung, just give us the measurements for the record.
Lengthwise, from top to bottom, the measurement is approximately 10.5 inches. And widthwise, it's approximately 7.5 inches.
And Mr. Goldberg, may I see 185, please?
I didn't write a 185 on it, if I might do that on the reverse. May I approach?
Please. Thank you.
Perhaps while we're waiting, I could also mark the print of People's 184 from the telestrator as 184A.
Are you want to show that to Mr. Scheck?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Goldberg, would you approach? Thanks, sir.
Permission, could we pass?
All right, 795 just handed the last item to the bailiff.
Could we also pass People's 185 around? Well, there's a court's copy and then there's a People's copy. That's our copy.
Sure. Actually, why don't we pass around 185 and 163H at the same time?
And cupcakes. You could also pass around cupcakes while you're doing that.
So we could have the front of People's 184 put up one more time, just so I can get a print of that as well.
All right.
One, please.
So, Mr. Goldberg, you had wanted to pass.
Yes, they still have 163.
Right, if you hand out the juror number 1. Well, I'd prefer to have the jurors concentrate on what they're looking at. Goldberg?
Now, Mr. Fung, when you saw the scene that we just played a few moments ago, that's depicted in the photograph 185, when you saw that for the first time, did that jog your recollection about anything?
leading and misleading.
Overruled. On the misleading part, it is leading. Rephrase the question.
When did you first see that item of tape?
I think that the problem here is vague. Is he talking about the
Question is
photograph or the
vague.
video?
I don't.
Sir, Mr. Fung, I'm talking about the
Rephrase the
video, videotape
Yesterday.
that you've seen. Okay, that's a still photograph of which is depicted in People's 185. When you saw that, did it jog your recollection about anything?
Yes.
What was that?
It occurred to me that the envelope containing the vial of blood could very possibly have been in that bag.
And when did you first remember the bag at all, the plastic bag?
When I saw the video. No, early that morning, I was going through it in my mind, and it occurred to me then. I saw the video the day before, a small portion of the video.
Where was that?
Here in court on the monitor.
He's kind of gesturing to the monitor by himself.
Yes.
Okay. And that was the first time that you remembered this plastic bag?
Yes.
Now,
It's leading. Overruled. The answer will stand.
now, did you, from a forensic science standpoint, sir, is it significant to you whether the bag was brought out in a posse box or a plastic bag or paper bag, or specifically how you carried it out?
Overruled.
No, it's not.
Is it significant to you from a forensic science standpoint that the vial is closed and that it is in fact in an evidence envelope?
Vague as to the word significance.
Overruled.
Yes.
And this was 10 months ago that these events occurred when you received the vial? About 10 months ago?
Just about, yes.
Is your recollection perfect as to all of the things that occurred surrounding the receipt of that vial?
No.
Okay. Your Honor, next I'd like to see the videotape that's been marked as Defense 1103 and the portion that shows Detective Van Adder arriving at the location.
Yes. What's the
What is he
with,
showing?
hold on. With the court order. Mr. Goldberg.
Now, Mr. Fung, when you were in the crime scene processing truck, did you ever say to Andrea Mazzola, Miss Mazzola, I want you to know I have the defendant's vial so you can witness this?
Sustained.
When you were in the crime scene processing truck, did you ever say anything to Miss Mazzola to make a point to her to remember to see that you had the vial, or that the vial was in your possession, your
Sustained.
custody?
Sustained.
Did you ever say anything, make a point to say anything about the vial?
No.
Objection. A freaking injection. Ito, how dare you let Sheck go on with his antics and his rudeness and his BS over and over and over again and sustain these objections? Are you freaking joking? What the hell?
Did you have any reason to do so?
Overruled.
No.
Did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see what he just did there? Ah, come on. Judge Ito. I wonder how many times in his life he got throat punched. I just wonder.
Yeah, this time I'd like to take another look at the document that's marked 1107. This is the back of one of the pages entitled Field Notes, it has 1718 marked in there. Maybe we can have a little bit of a close-up version of the of 17 and 18, between 17 and 18. Sir, did you have an opportunity to take a closer look at this document and also Xerox copies of this document, particularly the item that appears to have been erased between 17 and 18?
Yes.
And is that in fact your handwriting
Yes.
and your date?
Yes.
Did you initial it in some fashion, or did you sign your name? Or
I put my initials towards the right portion of that circle, if you can see it.
and the date that you put on there was July the 5th.
Yes.
Was there anything of significance that was happening in this case immediately following that date?
One of the hearings was occurring very soon after that date. I forget which one it was.
Did you testify on July the 6th and 7th?
Yes.
And when you testify in court, sir, is it your practice to review documents in preparation for testimony?
Yes.
Now, in looking at this document, have you reconstructed the events that occurred on the 5th that caused the 7-5 writing and your initials to be placed on that document?
Somewhat, yes.
What's that?
I was going through the crime scene checklist and saw that the items were switched, or not switched, were still listed with the tennis shoes as being 17 and the blood as 18. And I wanted to put a note there for myself if I came across them that they were, I had switched the numbers. And after I had wrote it down, I erased it because I wasn't sure if I should alter the document as I was going to court.
So you weren't sure whether at this point you should make another entry on the document.
That's correct.
Now, is this something that you have a sharp recollection of, or is this something that you've basically reconstructed after the fact?
This is something I reconstructed.
And is that based upon the date of 7-5 and in relationship to your preliminary hearing testimony?
Yes.
Now, sir, you didn't seem to do a very good job erasing this item, did you?
That's correct.
I mean, do you have erasers available to you at the Scientific Investigations Division?
Yes.
Is there a shortage of erasers?
No.
Is there any reason why you couldn't have done a better job erasing it if you'd wanted to?
No.
And sir, if you were trying to alter a document with some sort of evil intent, do you think it would be a good idea to date
That is,
and put your initials on it?
sustain, leading.
Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Fung. If you wanted to alter a document with some sort of intent to mislead, would you leave your initials and the date on it?
Objection, Your Honor, is this a
Sustained.
hypothetical question of an expert?
Sustained, sustained view.
When you did this, did you have any intent to mislead anyone
No.
or to hide anything from anyone?
No.
All right. Now, did you know Detective Lang or Detective Van Adder prior to this, prior to the events on the 13th?
I had spoken to them on the phone, taking requests from them over the years, and I had worked personally with them on 2 to 3 other cases.
Were you social friends at all?
No.
And what about Detective Furman? Did you know him at all?
I have never met the Detective Furman before June 13th.
What about Detective Phillips? Did you know him?
No.
Your Honor, at this time I was going to move to another topic. I don't know whether the court wanted to proceed. I see we do have some time. Okay. Mr. Fung, I wanted to ask you some questions about your grand jury testimony. But before doing that, I want to ask you first, as a forensic scientist, as a criminalist, when someone asks you the question, did you collect a particular item of evidence, what does that term entail, collect?
To me, collect entails the searching for the item, the identification of an item as evidence, the documentation of that evidence through notes, measuring it, and photo documentation, and describing what the item is. That's all done before the actual collection or picking up of the evidence.
Now, of those various steps that go before the actual physical picking up of numbering and photo documenting and so on, which of those steps is most important?
They're all equally important.
Are they equally important to the step of actually physically picking up?
They're important in to maintain the integrity of the evidence.
Now, sir, when you were at the Rockingham location in the morning of the 13th, using the term collect in the way that you just did, were you involved in the collection process of all of the evidence that morning?
Yes,
And how so?
I identified the items that we were going to collect that day or that morning. I directed the photographer as to which photographs to shoot. I assisted in helping to measure each and every one of those stains. And for some of the items, I actually did some of the swatching.
What about with respect to the items at Bundy that were collected on the 13th? Did you participate in the collection process as you just described it on all of those items?
Yes,
And how was that?
I identified which items we were going to collect. I helped with the measurement of the items that we were going to collect. And I actually did some of the swatching and collected some of the stains myself.
All right. So had you filled out the crime scene checklist portion that lists the people who do the collection where it says by, the crime scene checklist, you know what I'm referring to?
In what time frame?
Well, if you had filled it out on the 13th,
Yes.
as to, let's say, stain number 6, just to pick one, what would have you filled it out as?
Any hypothetical, maybe I think that calls for speculation and it's vague. Witness should testify to what he did or he didn't do.
How is it hypothetical? He's asking him what he did for that one particular. He picked one. He picked a real one. Hypothetically, how did you exactly do this one?
We were working as a team that day, and if I was to fill it out, I would have filled out that we meaning Miss Mazzola and myself, both did it.
Okay, but later on, didn't you go through a copy of those checklists with Miss Mazzola and kind of check off either both or Andrea Mazzola or yourself next to various items?
Yes.
All right. And when you were doing that, what was your intent in doing that?
It had been a issue in I believe it was the Griffin hearing. It was brought up by the defense.
All right.
All right. Ask another question.
So it was after this hearing that we referred to as the Griffin hearing that you did this, when you were having the conversations with Miss Mazzola trying to figure out who did what?
Yes.
And what were you trying to figure out specifically in terms of collection during those conversations?
Specifically, we were trying to remember who did the actual recovery phase or picking up of the evidence.
You mean the physical phase of actually physically picking up the evidence?
Yes.
And that's what you were trying to do?
Yes.
Did that become an issue in your view at this hearing that you testified to that we referred to as the Griffin hearing?
To strike, and I'd ask the fortuitous instruction on the rules.
Overruled. But it is, as to that request, sustained as to the nature of the question.
As to what?
The nature of the question. Rephrase the question.
Okay. There was this hearing that you testified at prior to doing this process with Ms. Mazzola, is that correct?
Yes.
And at that hearing, in your view, did the issue of who physically did what come up?
Yes.
And was that the first time, in your view, that anyone spent a lot of time trying to figure out who physically did what at the crime scene?
Vague. Sustained.
Prior to that, had any member of the prosecution interviewed you with respect to who physically did what at the crime scene?
No.
Had any member of the defense asked you any questions extensively about who did what at the crime scene?
So, Your Honor.
Sustained. It's vague.
Well, in
Your
your
Honor,
view,
Your Honor, and it's misleading.
It's vague. I sustain the objection. I'm asking him to rephrase it.
if I have a legal objection at some point, why don't we just?
Phrase the question.
Well, prior to that time, sir, had you testified in a number of, in a preliminary, excuse me, in a grand jury hearing?
Yes,
All right, well, we'll get to that later. And then had you also testified in a preliminary hearing?
I don't recall the exact order.
Okay. Now, who was in charge of the crime scene in terms of the work that the criminalists were performing between you and Ms. Mazzola at the Rockingham location in the morning?
I was.
And who was making the decisions there in terms of the discretionary type decisions that are made by criminalists?
I made the decisions.
Did you feel that you were responsible for all of the decisions that were made as to the collection process at that scene?
Yes.
And with respect to the Bundy scene, who was in charge of that scene?
In terms of the evidence collection, I was.
Did you feel that you were responsible for the collection process at that scene?
Yes.
And what about the return trip to Rockingham on the 13th? Who was in charge of that?
I was.
Did you feel responsible for the collection process there?
Yes.
If you were to divide the workup of a criminalist into the mental component of deciding what to collect, what not to collect, and the discretionary type decisions, and then a physical component of actually collecting, which component were you involved in, do you believe, primarily?
Objection.
Primarily, I was involved with the mental aspect of the crime scene investigation.
And what about Andrea Mazzola?
She was the physical portion.
Okay. And when you testified at the grand jury as to who was collecting what, was this your state of mind with respect to the division of authority there?
Sustained. Phrase the question.
Okay. What was your state of mind with respect to who was responsible for all the collection when you testified at the grand jury?
At the grand jury hearing, I was in charge of the evidence collection, and I was the supervisor, and I made the decisions.
And under the state of mind, when you testified at the grand jury, who collected the evidence in the sense that you have defined it here today?
Objection.
Overruled.
Calling for,
Overruled.
It was me.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like to continue with this perhaps later, but maybe this would be a good time to break.
After. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our recess for the morning session. Please remember all my admonitions to you. Do not discuss the case amongst yourselves. Don't form any opinions about the case. Do not allow anybody to communicate with you with regard to the case. Do not conduct any deliberations until the matter has been submitted to you. As far as the jury is concerned, we'll stand in recess until 9 a.m. Monday. Thank you. All right, back on the record in the Simpson matter. Mr. Simpson is again present before the court with his counsel, Mr. Shapiro, Mr. Cochran.
And that's the same if almost with all kinds of jobs. So when I worked for the university, I did all the faculty evaluations. All right. So there was a lot of code involved in these faculty evaluations. And parts of this code that I had to write, I had student workers do for me. It was the small little easy repetitive pieces of code that I had to write. Or data entry that needed done, for new faculty members and things like that. That they did. I didn't do all the repetitive stuff. But if you asked me, who did the faculty evals for 2023, I did. I did the faculty evals. If I'm working at a restaurant and I have a table and I'm serving that table, and one of the other servers drops off ranch for me at table 5. Table 5 needs ranch. So they go and get ranch and drop it off. Who served that table? I did. I was their server. I served that table. Yeah, I didn't. I mean, that's every single job in the world is like that.
Mr. Blazer, Mr. Neufeld, Mr. Scheck, people represented by Mr. Darden and Mr. Goldberg. Jury is not present. Counsel, anything we need to take up before we invite the jurors to join us? Mr. Shapiro, good morning, sir.
Your Honor, this morning I privately apologize to Mr. Dennis Fung for some remarks that I made outside of court. And I want to publicly apologize to him and to all my friends in the Asian American community that last week, friends of ours from a Chinese restaurant that we frequent sent us some fortune cookies. They were at the council table when I arrived after lunch on Thursday. I had one and offered some to two members of the press, and then made a remark which was meant to be facetious and was taken by those who received it as being facetious. However, I understand the sensitivities of people, and in hindsight, those remarks could have been misconstrued as being something other than just in humor and being a pun. As your honor knows, me for a long period of time, my career has been based on representing individuals who are primarily of minority groups. And I harbor no racial bias towards any group or any community in the world. My heart has been heavy all weekend if even one person has been offended. And for that, I sincerely apologize. Mr. Cochran, today I understand, was also reported as having passed out fortune cookies. He has not. I was the only one responsible, but on behalf of myself and Mr. Cochran, both of us, through our careers, have built a solid reputation representing minority groups of which we are both a part. And therefore, if any person or persons was offended, my sincere and most humble apologies are given, and especially to Mr. Fung. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Squirrel. All right, council, I understand we have an issue to resolve regarding videotapes. Do we need to view those? All right, what's the nature of this videotape, Mr. Goldberg?
Your Honor, we received another videotape depicting events at Rockingham with a time counter in it. And it depicts some of the same events that we've already seen from different angles, and in our view, better angles. And one new event that was not seen on the other videotapes. We would like to use it and also use it in conjunction with the time counter to show when those events occurred. We provided the defense with the beta copy of that tape, which apparently they have not viewed because they don't have a beta tape player. So that's where we are.
All right, Mr. Schick.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor,
Morning, sir.
we would like to avail ourselves of the opportunity to look at that in chambers and confer among ourselves. Since it's new footage, we haven't seen it.
All right, is there any disagreement as, I see we have Mr. Coogan here from KBC. Is there any dispute as to the foundation? Or you don't know until you see it? All right, so we're gonna have to sit and watch this for 25 minutes?
Whoa. Hold on. Guys, no. You can't just pop in a new videotape and not ask for sanctions for something. No. We are expecting a fight. We are expecting, names to be called and rude things to be said, and Judge Ito to sort of yell at the defense and then nail the prosecution. We want to fight about this. That's what we want.
No, they indicated they wanted to see it first before we dealt with any foundational issues. All right, then we'll stand in recess until council have had the opportunity to review this new videotape. I'll make my VHS available to you. All right.
Fine, I'll do it for you then if you're not going to do it. I'm Cochran. I want sanctions. I want sanctions on them for not telling us about this videotape that they knew for 5 minutes now. Why didn't they tell us 5 minutes ago when they found out? 5 minutes have passed. This is outstandingly horrible conduct by the prosecution, Your Honor. We want sanctions. And then we want you to tell the jury that how they did this to us.
All parties are again present. And council, you've had the opportunity to review the VHS version of the tape from KBC News. Mr. Cochran, Mr. Scheck, any comment?
We've viewed the tape. It's certainly enlightening. In terms of the times, I think it's the best recollection of Mr. Coogan that in terms of the process by which he sets the times, he doesn't think it would be off by more than 30 or 40 seconds. Have an abundance of caution, but in an estimate that he, I think, doesn't believe would really be accurate. He has indicated it could be off as much as 5 minutes. Frankly, I think that we should go with his best recollection and stipulate in terms of exactly what he did.
Do
That
you
is
want
to
to
say that
stipulate, or do you want to have a hearing outside the presence of the jury? Mr. Coogan's here with his counsel.
no, I'm just talking about the times. I'm saying he submitted an affidavit that said it could be off by as much as 5 minutes. But in talking with him, I think the prosecution will agree his best estimate is really no more than 30 or 40 seconds. So I'd rather go with that because
All right,
I think that's his best recollection.
Mr. Goldberg, what's your position?
Well, I think we should just go with what he said, and we could probably just ask him exactly what he said, and then stipulate to that, which is, I believe, that he looks at the clock in the station, which is apparently highly accurate, periodically, and sets his watch by that clock, so that his best statement as to how far off he is.
All right, well, let me ask you
about 30
this.
seconds.
Do we have a stipulation, or do we have to put something on the record?
Well, I know we never had an opportunity to discuss it with counsel.
Agreed on the time.
That's his best recollection, but out of abundance of caution, it could conceivably be off by as much as 5 minutes,
No.
but that's a very, as I think he
No.
said.
I'd rather go.
conservative estimate.
I'd rather go with what his best recollection of what happened is, rather than any guesses. That's all. That's what I would propose to stipulate.
All right, is that stipulation acceptable to the people? The 30 to
Well, I'd rather have what the actual truth is, and then perhaps maybe we should have a little hearing on that issue if the court wants to, or see.
Do you want to call Mr. Coogan out of order in front of the jury to lay the foundation?
Maybe the counsel has to have Mr. Coogan, we can come up with an exact,
But that's,
precisely worded.
Mr. Coogan, come on up. And counsel, your name for the record?
Stephen Perry from Number Tells Council.
All right, morning, counsel. All right, counsel, why don't you confer with Mr. Coogan and see if we can save some time here.
Be deemed to have been called, duly sworn, and testify that he makes it his practice to check his personal watch, his wristwatch, against the station clock, which he does every 2 to 3 weeks, and sets them. That when he does this, that he notices that he is off by no more than 30 to 40 seconds. That he told the camera woman on June the 13th, who shot the video tape images that we're going to be showing, to set the camera's clock, and that it was set against his watch. That the items, that the various clips are in sequence, and that the clock and the camera continues to run after the camera is off.
All right, is that stipulation acceptable to the prosecution? Excuse me, to the defense.
Yes.
All right, then that's accepted by the court, and Mr. Goldberg, you can offer that stipulation before the jury, is that correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, before Mr. Perry and Mr. Coogan leave, we had subpoenaed footage and outtakes from Bundy. And we have some concern about selective production. We would ask that the court order KABC to turn over to us their
Sanctions.
outtakes
Sanctions.
from Bundy. If they're going to be turning over the outtakes from Rockingham, I think in the interests of getting to the truth here, we should. I'd ask the court to order them to turn over their outtakes from Bundy.
Well, that would be in the form of a formal motion on written notice, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not inclined to do that without a formal motion.
Taser them. Tase them all.
Outtakes being a hot topic of
I mean, I
litigation.
think, Your Honor, when we subpoena them, we don't get them, but these are turned over. I mean, I just think in fairness.
Well, counsel, I
can't be this
agree with
selective
you that
disclosure.
maybe there's an issue here, but
Okay.
you need a notice motion before I start
Well, this just came up.
Okay.
Um,
You've got council's card.
I did.
You know where to find him.
I have one more motion,
All right, thank you, council. Thank you, Mr. Coogan.
one more request
Yes, sir.
before the jury is brought back, and that is I took a look at the court's proposed charge with respect to the page 4 of the Rockingham checklist, as you wrote it, and made two small additions concerning the fact
All right,
that,
council indicated we're going to take up these matters on
well,
Wednesday.
Your Honor, if I may, I'd ask you to peruse this and take a look at it for this reason, and that
No,
is,
council, we're going to discuss this on May. That's the end of the subject.
Your Honor,
Excuse me, on Wednesday.
all right,
That's
could
the
I,
end of the
could I
subject.
just have this alternative marked, and I'd just like to make this record, Your Honor.
No.
It
Wednesday.
won't take very long. It'll take a few minutes. Your Honor, I think that I was,
Mr. Scheck, I'm going to tell you for the fourth time, no. Sit down.
All right.
Let's have the jury. The actual physical custody of that. Mrs. Robertson, do you have that tape now? First of all, let me apologize to you again. Mr. Fung, would you have a seat, please? Let me apologize to you again for our late start this morning. We had some matters that I had to take up out of your presence. I did not anticipate that they would take so long. I trust we all had an interesting and entertaining weekend. Good. All right. Thank you. Also, because we've lost some time this morning, we're going to reconvene at 1 o'clock rather than our usual 1:30, so a little quicker lunch hour, but I'd like to get as much time in front of the jury as possible. Also, some matters have come up that have been brought to my attention regarding specifically issues that impact our jurors. And it will be necessary for me to talk to each one of you individually, and I'm going to start that process this afternoon. So when we recess court for the day, I'm going to call you in one at a time. I anticipate being able to get to
Why?
maybe 3 or 4 of you every afternoon between 4:30 and 6 for the next several days, and I'll take you in order, starting with juror number 1. And I need to discuss some matters with you, each of you privately, with the
What?
lawyers present.
I missed
So just so you
something.
understand
What happened?
All right, Mr. Funk.
The judge can't just talk to one of the jurors. The judge can't just pull one of the jurors aside and talk to one of the jurors.
Dennis Fung is again on the witness stand, undergoing redirect examination by Mr. Goldberg. Good morning again, Mr. Fung.
Good morning.
You're reminded, sir, you're still under oath. And Mr. Goldberg, do we have the tape? Mr. Scheck, do we have the tape? The tape. Did you leave it in the machine? File machine?
Perhaps I could mark that now while we're getting it.
Well, I want to make sure that Ms. Robertson's got physical custody of the tape. It advises me there is no tape in the machine.
Sanctions. The evidence is gone. We want sanctions. Nan, you spelled something wrong. Sanctions. I spell real good. ChatGPT says WTF to me all the time. You know how ChatGPT,
All right.
if you ask a question and it doesn't know the answer right away, it says thinking, and then sometimes they have, a little box, and it's sort of showing its thought process as it's doing it. The user gave me this number. I'm not sure what to do with it. I'll need to ask the user for more clarification. My ChatGPT does that to me all the time. I'm gonna have to ask her for more clarification.
Mr. Goldberg.
I'd like to mark this my next exhibit in order. I believe it's 186.
All right, People's 186 videotape.
Yes. And I believe it depicts some footage at the Rockingham location.
All right, you may proceed.
Your Honor, I wanted to show this tape as my next exhibit, but may I offer the stipulation now?
Yes.
Counsel, will you stipulate that Mark Coogan of KABC be deemed to have been called, duly sworn, and testified that People's 186 is a videotape that was shot on June the 13th of 1994, that he makes it his practice to check his...
Guys, I gotta tell you something. I found the greatest thing in the world. I have to prerequisite this, I think, even though I shouldn't have to say this out loud. I shouldn't have to say this to a human, but I'm going to. Never, ever, ever do this anywhere near the cat. Across the room works fine. Do not do this at the cat, towards the cat, around the cat, or near the cat. Okay? But this, this is a can. It doesn't have to be this one. It's it's to clean your keyboard, right? Right. You know what I'm talking about? It blows the dirt out of your keyboard. I always have one near my keyboard so I can clean it, right? Right. No, not at the cat. This gets really cold. The air that comes out of here, it's too cold. You cannot blow your cat with, don't ever blow a human or a cat with this. But if they're pissing you off, which they do sometimes, and you just point it and pull the trigger, boom, they all scatter. Again, for the last time, not at your cat. You do not have to put it at your cat to achieve the desired results. But 3 different blinds I have replaced in my living room in the last month, and I don't have a job right now. So now every time they get near my window, anytime they get near my window, I spray my can and they go and run for the hills. No, it doesn't work on Anthony. He would probably just clean out his ear, nose. I love simple things that work though, because me screaming doesn't. They don't care what. They literally do not care one bit if I scream, which is kind of annoying. Because I put so much heart and soul into my screaming and my swear words. I pick them carefully. I nurse them, and they just look at me like nothing. However, 3 of them are really scared of plastic bags. So I always had a plastic bag so I could control 3 of them. All of them run when I clean my keyboard. All of them. Sorry, OJ. I'm sorry. I think I have to go soon, but OJ.
personal watch against the station clock, which he does every 2 to 3 weeks in order to set them. That when he does this, he has noticed that he is off by no more than 30 to 40 seconds. That he told the camera woman that shot this tape to turn on the clock inside the camera, which was set against his watch. The sequences contained in the tape are in sequence chronologically, and that the clock on the camera continues to roll even when the camera is off.
Yes, that's what Mr. Coogan would testify to.
All right, stipulation is accepted by the court. Ladies and gentlemen, as I told you when we began the trial, a stipulation between the attorneys is an agreement between the parties as to certain facts. You were to accept those facts as being true. All right, Mr. Gold.
I'm so proud of them. I don't even have words to say how proud I am of them. They both stipulated to something. Both of them agreed. I feel like the last stream I had, I feel like they just agreed on something. They didn't bring this to a whole full blown 2 week long hearing on how long 30 seconds is, because really, look right here. Listen, this judge knows how long 30 seconds is. He just does. So you're lucky you stipulated, because he was going to get real mad at all of you.
You may proceed.
I'd like to play portions of the tape.
All right, let's make sure monitor in the front is working.
Nan, can you take
Okay,
aspirin
number one is that.
and ibuprofen at the same time? Oh, I hope you're still here, because I'm curious. It's freaking long. Okay. So if you made the wrong choice at the beginning, you're screwed. Remember that, guys. Do not take aspirin or ibuprofen until you know what you want. I'm the type of person that whenever they rewatch a movie, they still hope for a specific outcome. Even though they know what the outcome's going to be, they still hold out hope while they're watching. Oh gosh, I hope this doesn't happen. Oh gosh, I hope she doesn't get murdered. Oh, I hope she doesn't get murdered. Oh man. So I really I hope the prosecution can pull this one out.
Perhaps we could stop it for just 1 minute. Okay, it's at
1712.
17:12. Now, Mr. Fung, at this point in the videotape, what has just happened?
Criminalist Mazzola and I have just taken back the
Thank you, Nan.
evidence and placed it into the crime scene truck.
And 17:12 is 5:12.
Yes.
Right, perhaps we can continue now, Mr. Fairlow.
Tammy Wynette sings a really good song, Cheeky Monkey, that will help you enjoy your dinner tonight. Hold on, let me find it. I'll link it. Don't worry, I'm gonna find it.
This is at 17:17, Mr. Fung, which would be 5:17 in the evening.
Yes.
Do you recognize anything about the item that Detective Van Adder was holding? Maybe we can.
My video has just been demonetized by that stupid song playing without me wanting it to. You should listen to that song while you're complaining about waiting on your wife.
Rewind that again. Can we go slowly?
That,
Can we get it right when it flipped back? Right when the item flipped back? If we could go in slow motion, possible. Now look carefully, Mr. Fung, for when the wind pushes the top of the item back. Okay, there, just one frame or 2 frames back, there.
All right, 17, 17, 07, and 17 on the counter. we get a better still on
Is
this?
this the envelope
Yeah,
by
right
any
there.
chance?
That one. There's a few, about two.
Oh, please let this be the envelope with the glasses. That is not an envelope with the glasses. No, it's not. It's the bags, I think. Son of a.
There.
I love
Is it
Tammy
possible to print that
Wynette.
out, Mr.
I
Fairwell?
love her. The blood vial, you got to be more
Perhaps we could have the
specific.
printout marked as
Blood
186A.
All right, just so the record's complete, this is frame 171707 sub 20 on the counter.
Your Honor, I'd like to approach the witness and show him People's 163H again, if I may.
They act like every single piece of evidence at the crime scene should be categorized and collected before the criminalists even get there. Like before the criminalists get there, they need to know what piece of evidence they're going to get first, second, third, and already have it written down in triplicate to give to the prosecution. You know what I mean? They act like they're supposed to know everything before they know anything. My daughter just gave me this stink eye. I gotta go. I'll be back really, really, really soon, guys. Bye. I'll be back. I'll be back.
You may.
Sir, I'm showing you 163H again. Can you hold up the item there that constitutes the type of gray envelope into which reference samples are placed and show the jury? Now, if you look at the reverse side of that, is that the way these envelopes typically appear?
Yes,
And they have a little clasp?
there's a clasp with a hole in the flap section of the envelope.
And when you worked in toxicology at the Los Angeles Police Department, did you see these kinds of envelopes on a regular basis?
Yes.
And what does the item in Detective Van Adder's hand appear to be to you?
It appears to be a gray analyzed evidence envelope that typically holds biological specimens.
Your Honor, maybe I can place a 186A on the reverse side of this.
You may.
Okay. Let's continue with the tape again, Mr. Fairwell. Maybe we can back up again, Mr. Fairwell, and take another look at the sequence of inside the foyer area. Stop. Can you back up for just a few frames? Okay, one or two frames forward. There. Can you go like 2 frames forward? Okay, there. Stop. Can we get a print of that, Mr. Fairtlough? That's at 17/18/57, Your Honor.
Well,
Yes.
you want to mark print out of this frame 186B?
Yes, Your Honor. Now, Mr. Fung, did you have the opportunity to take a look at this videotape yesterday several
Yes.
times? And what does the item in your hand appear? What is the item in your hand?
There are two things I am carrying. One is a plastic bag, and the other is an envelope.
Did this refresh your recollection, sir, as to where you were at the time that you received the envelope from Mr. Van Adder?
Yes, it did.
Where was that?
That was in the foyer at Rockingham.
Oh, that's finished. Let's continue with this tape, if we can, very slowly, Mr. Fairtlough. Mr. Fairtlough, can you see if you can get that second zoom in that we just saw a few frames back? Right there. Let's go several frames forward here, Mr. Fairtlough. Okay, can we back up for a moment? Okay, Mr. Fairtlough, can you see if you can clear up this image at 17/18/57/17?
Just lost it.
Just a few frames before this.
17 on the last counting.
reversing a little bit. Let's see if we can get a shot of it that way.
Isn't this the first sequence?
No, this is the second sequence of the foyer.
I think this is the first sequence.
Go forward to it to 17/18/57. I mean,
Goldberg?
I think it was right before this that there was another shot of the
1857 is something that is People's 186B. We printed
yeah,
this.
that's 57/12,
Okay.
and it's slightly after that. There's another. Yeah. Here, let's do it this way. Let's start and just run it through in real time. Okay. Or from the beginning of the sequence of foyer. Okay, now we're at 17/19/40. In these frames, can you still see the items in your hand?
Yes,
And what are those items, Mr. Fung?
the items appear to be an envelope and a plastic bag.
And the plastic bag is, which plastic bag is that?
That is the plastic bag that Ms. Mazzola carried out to the crime scene truck on the second trip.
And the envelope is,
The envelope is the envelope which contained the blood vial given to me by Detective Van Etter.
now, sir, the gentleman who has his back to the door, to the camera, do you know who he is?
Yes, he's a LAPD photographer, Mr. Wilson.
Now,
That's the first frame, 17/19/44/06.
Sir, as you sit here today, independent of what you've seen on the videotape, do you have a recollection of Mr. Wilson being there?
I know that he was in the area, but I don't know how closely he was watching,
From your own independent recollection?
from my independent recollection.
Were you paying attention to who was around you at the time that this transaction occurred?
No.
Mr. Fairtlow, maybe we can continue. maybe we can just stop for one moment. We're at 1742, 53, 22. Is that correct, Mr. Fung?
Yes,
And this is a shot of what happening?
this is a shot of criminals Mazzola and myself leaving the Rockingham address.
You can continue forward. Let's just stop for a moment. Mr. Fung, do you have an independent recollection as you sit here today of placing the item that you received from Detective Van Adder, the envelope, into the plastic bag?
Not an independent recollection, no.
And when you looked at the scene of Andrea Mazzola taking the plastic bag out of the location, was there anything that you collected between 5 o'clock and when you left with Andrea Mazzola that could have accounted for the heft in that bag other than the envelope?
Possibly. But it's most likely that the envelope was in that bag.
Okay. Now let's continue. Did you collect anything between 5 o'clock and the time that Ms. Mazzola and yourself left with the plastic bag that was the same approximate size and dimension of the analyzed envelope 163?
Was there
The
anything?
one in front of you.
Was there anything else that we collected that was this size?
Yes.
Is that what you're asking? No.
And did you have any other envelopes that were that size?
No.
Okay. Let's continue. Your Honor, perhaps, I think we've covered the scenes that I want to cover at this time. That's fair, but that's fine.
All right, Mr. Golden.
So, sir, based upon your independent recollection and also viewing the videotapes, is the first event that occurred with respect to the vial, Detective Van Adder arriving with what appears to be the analyzed evidence envelope?
Yes.
And did you then see a shot of yourself in the foyer area holding two items?
Yes.
And those two items were again?
Two items were an envelope that is consistent with the gray envelope in People's
163H.
163H and a plastic bag.
And that was in fact the envelope that you received from Detective Van Adder?
Yes.
And the plastic bag was the one that eventually Ms. Mazzola was carrying?
Yes.
And then the third item in the sequence of events is Andrea Mazzola carrying the black plastic bag out of the location,
Yes.
and you're putting it into the crime scene truck.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm finished with that tape. Sir, I was asking you about independent recollection of placing the item in the bag, and you said that you don't have an independent recollection of that. What do you mean by that?
By independent recollection, I don't have a mental picture from memory of myself placing the envelope in the plastic bag.
So when you're thinking about the events of the 13th and you're trying to conjure up an image, think of an image of what was happening at and around the time that you received the envelope. Do you see an image of yourself doing that?
Not from my memory, no.
Okay. But do you know that that's what you did?
Yes.
And how do you know that?
From viewing the videotape and piecing together memory that I do remember, that's what I have concluded that I did.
Okay. Did you also look at the time?
Speculation, I think the tapes and what the witness says speak for itself.
Thank you. Now, sir, we were talking before we broke on Friday about what collection means as a criminalist. And you said that it meant something in addition to physically picking items up. Is that correct?
Yes.
And did that include the numbering and the measuring phase?
Yes.
All right. And I asked you whether in your mind you participated, or whether you did participate in the collection of all of the items on June the 13th, all the biological evidence. And what was your answer?
The answer was yes.
Now, when you were working with Andrea Mazzola on the 13th, I think you testified that you were working as a team. What do you mean by that?
In working as a team, two people are working towards one goal. And we were working towards collecting and documenting the evidence that was at those scenes.
Right. Now, when you testified at the grand jury, did you have any opportunity to prepare by talking with Marcia Clark before you testified?
No,
Have you ever testified at a grand jury before?
no,
Did you have an opportunity to prepare on your own by reviewing your own notes in order to refresh your recollection before you testified?
I looked at them briefly.
Did you have any conversation with Ms. Clark before you actually went into the grand jury room?
We had a brief conversation as to the basic testimony I would be covering, the topics we would be covering, but there was nothing very detailed.
Well, can you give us a better idea of what was said?
She introduced herself and I introduced myself. She said something to the effect, "You're the criminalist who did the collection." I said yes, and there wasn't much more than that, if any.
And you've testified in court on numerous prior occasions.
Yes,
Do you usually have an opportunity to sit down and go over your testimony in advance and know the kinds of questions you're going to be asked and so on,
usually,
and to review your notes?
yes.
Right. Now, I want to ask you some questions about your testimony at the grand jury, sir. And counsel, I'm going to be looking at page 390 of the grand jury transcript. Page 389 and 9 on page 390. So you have since had an opportunity to go over your grand jury transcript testimony.
Yes,
Okay, and at the grand jury, did you give the following answers to the following questions, starting on page 389, line 23? Question: with respect to the blood on the car shown in photograph A of People's 5, as well as B, and the blood behind the Ford Bronco shown with number 4 in the photograph, C, and the blood shown in photograph F on this exhibit, and in photograph, that same drop of blood shown in photograph D of People's 2. In fact, all of the blood recovered as shown on the markers in People's 2, in G and F, as well as 5 in photograph G and H. Did you recover all of those from the scene for further analysis? Answer: the ones labeled with the numbers, yes, I did. Question: how did you recover them? Answer: I recovered them in the manner described before, where I would wet a cloth swatch or several cloth swatches if needed, apply it to the red stain, and then let the stain transfer onto the cloth swatch. Do you remember giving those answers to those questions?
yes.
And when the question was asked, and how did you recover them? Did you believe a questioner wanted to know how they were recovered or who did it?
I believe the questioner wanted to know how it was done.
Were
not
you
to be
trying to mislead anyone when you talked about in the first person, I did it?
No.
Your Honor, I'd next like to read a reference from the same transcript at page 399.
Starting at what line?
Starting line 5 through line 12. And Your Honor might want to take a look at that because that's going to bring us to another issue, if the court has the transcript.
All right, let's approach with the court, please.
Sir, at the grand jury hearing, were you asked a question as to the collection of stain number 14 in the master bathroom rather? And did you say that we collected that stain in the master bathroom?
Yes,
And when you said we collected it, who was this other person that you were referring to?
I was referring to Criminalist Mazzola.
And was there a follow-up question of who is the other person?
No.
Okay. And next, I'd like to look at the grand jury transcript, page 408, at lines 9 through 13, Your Honor. Thank you. Sir, were you asked the following question, and did you give the following answer? Was the blood between the two victims analyzed, either the blood on the floor, on the ground between the two victims analyzed, or collected for analysis? Answer: we did collect or try to collect that blood, and it was analyzed, yes. Do you remember that?
Yes,
And when you said we, who were you referring to?
I was referring to Criminalist Mazzola and myself.
And was a follow-up question as to who is the other person asked?
No.
Now, did it appear to you, based on the questions you were being asked at the grand jury, that the questioner was interested in who did what or what was done?
Sustained.
What did it appear to you that the questioner was interested in when you were being questioned about
Sustained.
what was collected?
Sustained. Calls for speculation.
May we approach on that, Your Honor?
No, proceed. Proceed.
Were you ever trying to mislead anyone at the grand jury?
No,
When you went through the transcript, did you come up with an estimate as to approximately how many minutes you were questioned about the collection process at Rockingham in terms of what was collected and how it was collected?
a rough estimation of
Of
between 5 to 10 minutes.
it wasn't that extensive.
No,
And what about the collection process at Bundy, approximately?
5 to 10 minutes again.
And in your review of the transcript, were you ever asked specifically the question who did this or who did that in terms of collecting evidence at Bundy
No, not specifically.
or Rockingham?
No.
Now, I'd like next to refer to the preliminary hearing transcript at page 40. At lines 5 through 10. Were you asked the following questions and did you give the following answers? Question: did you prepare a report documenting what item numbers 1 through 8 are in this case? Answer: yes, I did. Question: did you collect them, sir? Answer: I did, along with my assistant, Criminalist Mazzola. Did you give those answers to that question?
Yes.
Were you making any effort to conceal Criminalist Mazzola's participation in the collection in this case?
No.
Did you have any hesitation to say that you collected them along with Criminalist Mazzola at the preliminary hearing?
No.
And I'd like next to look at pages 43 through 44. Lines 27 on page 43 through line 3 on page 44. 27 on 43 through line 3 on page 44.
Proceed. Proceed.
Question: and were all of those items packaged by yourself bearing the DR number of this case? Answer: yes. I may have had some assistance from Criminalist Mazzola with some of the items. Do you recall giving that answer to that question?
Yes.
And by the way, when we're talking about DR number being assigned, that is what?
That is the divisional record number that is assigned to each case. Each case has its own DR number.
And those were assigned in the field or in the laboratory?
The detective obtains those and he passes the DR number on to us.
Now, when you were answering this question about having assistance from Criminalist Mazzola in the packaging with the DR numbers, did you have any hesitation in disclosing that she assisted you in that process?
No.
I'd next like to refer to what we've been terming the Griffin hearing, which happened on August the 22nd of last year at page 52, excuse me, page 538.
I better check this. This is not,
All right, let's see council sidebar with the transcript.
Sir, did you give the following responses to the following questions? Question. And so she would be collecting some of those bloodstains. I mean, I withdraw that question. As you sit here today, do you have a vivid memory as to which of the 60 or so items that you collected at Bundy she collected in your presence, as opposed to those which were collected outside your presence? Answer. I do remember that the bloodstains leading from where the victims were along the escape route, as it has been referred to in the past, is I was there with her personally supervising her. Question for each and every one of those. Answer. I believe so. Yes. Question. Were there other bloodstains, however, that she collected at the scene that she personally did not supervise? Answer. Yes. And as you sit here today, do you know which ones those were? Not specifically. No. Do you remember those answers to those questions?
Yes.
Okay. Now, were you indicating when you said, I believe so, yes, that you supervised her on the trail items, that you were positive?
When I said I believe so, that meant that I wasn't 100% sure.
And you have since testified that you did not observe her on stain 52.
That's correct.
And how did you come to that conclusion after your conversation with Andrea Mazzola, where you went through the checklist or before?
I came to that conclusion after I spoke with Criminalist Mazzola.
Were you trying to mislead anyone at the Griffin hearing about what you observed and what you didn't observe in terms of what Ms. Mazzola did?
No.
Now, in this case, you also filled out property reports documenting the evidence that was collected on June 13th. Is that correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to mark as people's next in order. I believe it's 169,
187.
187. Okay. Thank you. Sorry. A copy of a property report containing items 1 through 10.
All right, how many pages is this document?
It's 3 pages.
Have you shown that to Mr. Scheck?
Excuse me, it actually contains 1 through 14 and then 17.
All right, proceed.
And I have another report that I'd like to mark as People's 188. And it contains items 35 through 37.
How many pages?
It's also 3 pages.
All right, 188. 5 pages.
Sorry, I know there was some breakouts today while I was gone. Yeah, this is not OJ, but I just realized today that I'm in a very, very, very toxic and abusive relationship with my car air conditioner. My car air conditioner maybe works 1 out of every 10 trips, right? And it worked this morning. And I just realized, oh, I was so in love with it today. I was so in love with my car air conditioner today. It was so wonderful. Stupid microphone. But for the next 9 trips now, it's not going to work and it's going to leave me super hot, overheated in this car. But there's that one time where it's going to work and it's going to feel so good and I love it so much. I don't think about the 9 times. I only think about that one time when it's so good. I see why people are in wicked circles.
Proceed.
I smack lots of parts of my cars. I actually don't need a fishing pole anymore because someone took my fishing pole that turned my lights on while I was driving. I could just smack it and it would turn my rear
So the
lights on.
reports that
I
you
can smack
generated
the
in this
top and
case
it works too.
created before June the 16th,
Yes,
and that was before your testimony at the grand jury.
yes.
I'd like to direct your attention to the report that we've now marked as 187 for identification. Your Honor, I just put a 187 up on the top of the report and circled it.
All right.
And specifically page 3 of that report. One, please. Sir, on this report, did you write that items 1 through 11 were collected by criminalists Mazzola and Fung on 6/14/94 at 360 North Rockingham?
Yes, I did.
And did you subsequently write another document to change the date to 6/13?
Yes.
And when you wrote this document, did you have any hesitation to list criminalist Mazzola as being one of the people that collected the items with you?
No.
I'd now like to direct your attention to the next exhibit that we've marked, People's 188, the 4th page. And on this report, sir, is this another one of your property reports?
Yes, it is.
And this was generated before the grand jury?
Before I testified before that, yes.
And did that say that items 35 through 57 were collected by criminalists Mazzola and Fung on 6/13 at 875 South Bundy?
Yes.
And did you have any hesitation whatsoever to list criminalist Mazzola as having participated in the collection of those items?
No, I did not.
Thank you. So before you testified at the grand jury, as far as you were concerned, was it a matter of public record in these property reports that criminalist Mazzola and yourself collected the items on June the 13th?
Sustained.
Did you know that these reports were in existence at
Yes,
the
I
time
did.
that you testified at the grand jury?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd now like to mark another exhibit. And it appears to be a vehicle search checklist dated 6/12. And it's L21 through L31 as People's
189.
189.
How many pages? Mr. President?
Seven pages.
Thank you.
You should ask Fozzie that question. Sarah, Sarah, are you here? Oh, Nan, that's really sad. 14 days.
I'm only going to ask for about one page.
14 days.
Proceed. You may.
Sir, can you just briefly look at this exhibit and tell us what that is?
This is the vehicle search checklist that we filled out in conjunction with doing the Bronco search.
Sir, this says 6/12. What date was this filled out on?
This was filled out on 6/13.
And who did that?
Criminals Mazzola filled out this form.
When on the 13th was that filled out?
This was filled out very shortly after we arrived at the Rockingham scene.
And in the, I'm having trouble seeing it, but on the OIC box, maybe you can, oh, I see. Okay. Maybe we can zoom in on that. The OIC box, it says Mazzola, and it has the date 6/13 over to the right.
Yes, it does.
And then under that, it actually says assistant's name, D. Fung.
Yes.
Now, how much after you arrived at Rockingham was this document actually filled out?
Not more than 5 to 10 minutes.
Did you have any conversation with Ms. Mazzola about who to put in the OIC section or who to put in the assistant's name section?
No, not on this form.
Right. And when did you first become aware that she was the OIC is listed on this form and that you were the assistant? Listed as the assistant.
When I was reviewing the notes at some later time, I looked at that and noticed it then.
Did you ever make any effort to change that?
No,
Did it bother you that Andrea Mazzola was listed in the OIC position?
no,
Did it ever occur to you to ask Andrea Mazzola to write up a new form to switch the names, to put yourself in the OIC position and
I
switch her to
feel like
assistant?
he's clarifying well. I feel like he made a few good points that explained it. I feel more comfortable with Fung now, but I did before.
And did you know that this document was in existence when you testified at the grand jury?
yes, I did.
Now, sir, have you noticed in your experience as a criminalist, when someone asks you the question, did you collect a particular item of evidence, in a case where you were working with a criminalist one who may have done the actual physical picking up, have you noticed any particular habit that you have? I haven't finished.
Leading, argumentative.
Not yet.
Do you have any habit with respect to how you answer that question?
You can answer the question.
Yes, in reviewing some of my testimony, I tend to use the word I in that situation. In an example, well, there's many examples that you've given today, and it's like an engineer who says, I built a bridge, or a businessman who says, I wrote a report, when he may actually have many other people working under him, helping him finish his job.
Did you have the opportunity to review portions of your trial transcript in this case and see yourself following that practice?
What's the objection?
The objection
Legal
is,
basis,
the basis is, I believe it's
legal ground. 2 words.
leading, compound, and assumes facts not in evidence.
Sustained, just bleeding.
Did you have an opportunity to review portions of your trial transcript?
Yes,
And were there instances in the trial transcript where you testified as if you had done the physical collection when you didn't?
Sustained, rephrase the question.
Did you find any instances of your answering questions in conformity with
My cat shut my computer off, but it didn't shut off completely. Just he just reset it. But my cat. Oh no, my phone is on. But that's Keo, and I love him, so he can do anything he wants. I'm not even mad at him. And the other cat, I would have been swearing up and down, but I'm not swearing at Keo because he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's an orange cat, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but orange. All of my orange cats have one brain cell in between them all. They're so stupid. They are the most stupid animals I've ever seen. They literally just sit there, and they won't. Like if you're trying to play a toy with a toy, they will sit there and they will try to watch the toy, but they really will just sit there. And then when you put food in front of them, you got to eat, and they'll sit there and they know that I know they want it. They look at it. They won't look away. They're super focused. They won't go and eat it. And if the orange cat is walking north, all right, Kelly, orange cat is walking north, and there's something north that you don't want the orange cat around, and you try to like turn it to put it somewhere else, so he or she they all do it. They can't change their mind. They have to finish what they were doing until they collect another thought in their head, and then they can go and do something else. You cannot put another thought in their head. You cannot, even if I carried Keo the whole way upstairs and locked him in my room for an hour, he would come downstairs when I finally let him out, and he would finish walking to where they're so they are just orange cats are very very special. Uh, So no, I will never ever yell at Keo for jumping. Now, if Lafayette would have turned my computer off, words would have flowed freely because he knows what he's doing. He's super smart. He knows exactly what he's doing. But no, Keo has absolutely no idea that he can't jump on my computer. If a thought gets in his head that he wants to jump on my computer, nothing in the world will stop it. I can delay it. I can try to postpone it, but he's going to jump on my computer. They just, yeah, they're just, yeah, you see them sitting there trying to figure out something, and they just sit there and stare. It's like, oh, honey, I wish I could help you. I wish I could help you figure it out. You just gotta walk forward and eat the food. It's right there. Oh man, my calico is a oh gosh, she's so mean. Two of my calicos are so mean. That's right, because like I got my can of air, which is funny because when I got home from taking my daughter to work, my blinds were on the floor. But I outsmarted them. Don't worry. Oh, don't worry. They're never getting them down now. Before I came to you guys, back to you guys, I I put them in brackets. I bent the brackets up. I call my one baby calico Methany. Meth. Yeah. Because there's no other name that fits her. Really, there's none. All right. Thank you so much for coming out today, guys. This is a good way. This was a good stopping point anyway. I shall see you all there very, very soon. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye, guys.